All right, greetings to everyone. Good day, good morning, good evening, whatever time zone you're watching this recorded video. Now, for our lecture this day, we are going to talk about language registers, specifically the five language registers. All right, so in linguistics, the register is defined as the way a speaker uses language differently in different circumstances. Think about the words you choose, your tone of voice, even your body language. You probably behave very differently chatting with a friend than you would at a formal dinner party or during a job interview. So these variations in formality, sometimes called as stylistic variation, or often known as registers in linguistics. They are determined by such factors such as social occasions, the context, the purpose, and the audience. Registers then are marked by a variety of specialized vocabulary in terms of phrases, colloquialism, and the use of jargon, and a different in intonation and pace. And the study of language, according to George Yule, describes the function of jargon as helping to create and maintain connections among those who see themselves as insiders in some way and to exclude outsiders. Registers then are used in all forms of communication, including written, spoken, and signed. Depending on grammar, syntax, and tone, the register may be extremely rigid or very intimate. You don't even need to use an actual word to communicate effectively. Okay, so in this case, we are going to talk about the five language registers. The first one is what we call frozen. Okay, this form is sometimes often called as a static register. Sometimes it refers to historic language or communication that is intended to remain unchanged, like a constitution or a prayer. It could be the Pledge of Allegiance, the preamble, the Bible, the United States Constitution, okay, the Romeo and Juliet in literature, and so on. Another thing is formal language register. This is less rigid, but still constrained, meaning the formal register is used in professional, academic, or legal settings where communication is expected to be respectful, uninterrupted, and restrained. Slang is never used, and constructions are very rare. For example, a TED Talk, okay, a business presentation, the Encyclopedia Britannica, Gray's Autonomy by Henry Gray, and so on and so forth. The next language register is consultative. People use this register often in conversation when they're speaking with someone who has specialized knowledge or who is offering advice. The tone is often respectful, meaning to say the use of courtesy titles, but maybe more casual if the relationship is long-standing or friendly, like a family doctor. Slang is sometimes used, and so people may pause or interrupt one another. For example, in the local TV news broadcasts, as or it could be an annual physical or a service provider like a plumber. Okay. The fourth one is casual language registers. This is the register people used when they're with friends, close acquaintances, and coworkers and family. It is probably the one you think of when you consider how you talk with other people or often in a group setting. Use of slang, the constructions, and vernacular grammar is very common, and people may use expletives or off-color language in some settings. For example, a birthday party. Okay, or it could be a backyard barbecue conversation. Okay, or it could be a conversation with your friends. All right. The fifth one is what we call intimate language register. For linguists, as they say, this is a register that is reserved for special occasions, usually between only two people and often in private. Intimate language may be something that is as simple as it inside in a joke between two college friends or a word whispered in a lover's ear, or often called as language of lovers. So, knowing which register to use can be challenging for English students. Unlike Spanish and other languages, there is no special form of pronoun expressively or expressly for use in formal situations. Of course, culture, all right, culture adds another layer of complication here. Because especially if you're not familiar with how people are expected to behave in certain situations. So teachers, they say that there are two things you can do to improve the skill. Okay, teachers, future teachers, you can do or incorporate a lot of things to improve the skill. Now, look for contextual clues such as vocabulary, the use of examples and illustrations, or listen for tone of voices. So, you could have the questions such as, is the speaker whispering or yelling? All right. Are they using courtesy titles or addressing people by name? Look at how they standing and consider the words they choose then. All right. So there are parting words that is reflected in the use of different registers. Number one is frozen, such as farewell or Godspeed. All right. Another thing or another example for formal language register are goodbye. We look forward to see you again. So this is more of a formal words that is used in a letter perhaps or in a conversation. Okay. Or if it is in a consultative language register, you will be using goodbye, have a good weekend. All right. How about in casual? Casual, such as you're talking to your friends and or even your classmates and colleagues. So you could say, bye now, take care. All right. How about for intimate? All right. So you could have later, darling. Okay. So you have your own words or intimate language for each other. So that is for parting words. How about if you're asking for requests? Okay. Requests in different registers. For frozen, you could say, please submit the output at the earliest convenience, meaning to say you cannot. Sometimes it is really the used or the whole phrase is being used in the instruction and giving the instructions of the different activities. Okay. Another thing could be, could you possibly type this up for me by tomorrow? So this is kind of a request. Probably your boss asking you to encode the minutes of the meeting, okay, and then submit it tomorrow, and then there must be a formal language or formal registers that you're going to use. All right. Next thing is consultative. Consultative, such as, can you finish this after lunch? So there is this kind of request that is implicit, explicit, and consultative in tone. All right. The next one is casual. Watch the door for me, okay? Watch the door for me, okay? So when you are with your friends and here you are at the door or near the door and you're bringing a lot of things, so probably could say, watch the door for me, okay? All right. So the last one is intimate in the language register. All right. So for example, such as what you can see on the screen. So all of those things, parting words and requests, language registers and different registers. All right. So again, frozen, something to do with a static register, meaning to say you could use the whole phrase again and again. It will never change, and the thought is there, and it is more than formal. And then speaking of formal, this is more of following the grammar rules as to the standard one. And consultative, this could be the use of conversation or the conversation or conversing or giving of ideas, information, and requests, no, in a consultative manner, which is in respect with a respect in tone. In casual language gesture, this is more of a language of friends, okay, immediate family, the language of the immediate family, and of course for intimate, the language of lovers. All right. So how about these situation or these communication situations? Which do you think these communication situations belong? Does it belong to frozen, or does it belong to formal? How about consultative, casual, and intimate? So let's find out. All right. How about convention? In a convention, you are presenting something, or it could be that prior to the formal program, there are preliminaries and preparations before the during the convention before the program proper. So how about that? What language register you are going to use or that is being used by the speaker? All right. How about the State of the Nation address? So what language register does it belong? Okay, so I guess you have your answers now. How about this one? Job interview. Okay, during the job interview, what are the languages that you're going to use? Are the slang words are advisable or highly appreciable during job interviews? How about during debate? Are the opposition or the negative speakers allowed to speak the slang? Are the people, no, are the people who invited, or the one who made the invitation for the guest speaker can be used the 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 static language? Okay. How about this one? During your medical checkup, dentist, for example. For example, you are going to your OB-GYN, to your dentist, okay? So how about that? What language you are going to use? How about when you are transacting businesses inside in an LGU offices or the local government offices? What language you are going to use, or what language register you are going to use? How about you are with your friends inside a pizza house and tea hub? Okay, have you missed your friends? Did you hang with them lately? Were your summer experiences good? How about you're experiencing these times of pandemic and you're spending it inside in your house? Okay, so what language adjuster are going to use then? All right. So how about date inside? Sorry, a date inside a cafe. Okay, so all of those things are just examples of communication situations that would reflect on a particular language register that you are going to use. This is a challenge to everybody that you are going to know the situations or the communication situations that you are in, meaning to say the setting and the audience or the receiver of the information. You are always going to consider the receiver of the message and of course the setting, because this will help you to modify, to reinvent or recalibrate the words that you are using, meaning the language that you are using in the conversation. Because when you are using inappropriate words, say for example, you are in a convention and then you are talking about things that is intended only for your lover or for your partners, it's a no-no. Okay, so meaning to say during your job interviews, you must be formal, meaning to say you are going to use formal languages. All right. So if the interviewee or the interviewer is asking you to be in your own, I mean to say to be with you, just like casual conversation, then be it. But if the person is not asking you, then please don't, because it's a no-no. All right. So that is for the formal. That is for the, that is for the frozen, formal, consultative, casual, and intimate language register. All right. So I hope you learned something today, and wherever you are, whoever you are with, I'm Pinkaninay. See you on the next recorded video.